So let's refresh ourselves. What the warm up does. Why we have to warm up. Break it down. It's very simple. Why?
To get the blood flow,
Right.
keeps it warmed up,
Right.
circulation going.
Mm-hmm. What else, man?
So you don't get hurt when you stretch.
There you go. So, in other words, we are preparing
To be stretched.
not to get injured.
Beautiful.
Right?
Beautiful.
Everything goes to right here. Okay, next one is stretch. Why we have to stretch?
Get range of motion so you don't get hurt.
Right. Anybody else can explain better?
Keep you flexible.
This is very important.
Easier on
Even
the
though
joints.
simple and important. Huh? What is
Keeps
it?
you flexible, keeps easier on the joints, your tendons and
Just teach you how to move.
All of the above. So you are adding one more component to train or work out better, whatever your choice is, including whatever activity it is. Then cool down. We all know that. If you put it the right way, cool down is you are bringing the body back to normal, whatever you use it. I believe strongly this is the part perhaps all the coaches, top level coaches, also missing. I may be wrong, my assumption may be wrong, because in my experience, this is the part everybody missing, last part of the stretch, including this girl. I've been working last 5 months. I have 5 people like this now. When it gets to a point, I bring it to you, really what happened to one other girl because of this. Clear? There's no way you can miss it. So the body waiting for injury. You are giving a chance. I wish we know this when I was an athlete. Too late. Like I mentioned yesterday, I have 2 shoulders, 2 knees, and left wrist and the ankle. Recommended surgery. But I'm holding on to it. So far clear?
Raju, question.
Right.
How would you differentiate between the stretching that you do after warm up and the stretching you do after cool down?
Good question. Good question. That's what I'm expecting you. This is your stretching to prepare to play. Only difference is from this to this is this is it. This is a preparation stretch. This is a developmental stretch. Or you're putting your tools back. This is the most important part. If an athlete comes to you, you do the deeper stretch right here. Including the high level events, whenever I worked all over the world, you're preparing the athlete stretching, which means you're not going the deeper. This is the deepest possible you go. So that when you look at the muscle, I wrote all these little things I want to cover. When you look at the muscle, right? You have an origin and insertion. Microscopically, I don't know, I don't have the scientific base to give it to you how well this is shortens. Maybe that. Microscopically, it is given. Any human body. It may take weeks, months, years. We are shrinking. There's no doubt about that. Because you see the posture, how well it goes like that. If we all look ourselves in the mirror. Because of what? Why? Number 1 is lack of stretching. Number 2 is, look at this posture.
Aging.
Iliopsoas. Constant, repetitive, present scientific world. That's what I forgot yesterday. You can pass it on later on. Why the iliopsoas goes like that when you sit.
it shortens.
Right there.
Shorten.
Right there.
Mhm.
So that's why important yesterday I did not get a chance to check everybody Elios. I bet everybody is right, including me. So these are the type of things you can educate your clients. You know, you need to get up, walk around, and get stretched, or stretch themselves. So the book I gave you this morning, some people got it. That is just, you can stretch yourself. Okay. So, Jancy, that's what this stretch will help to bring it back to normal. Clear?
Yes.
All right. Okay. In the beginning, I didn't say that. One more point I'm missing here, that the 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 biggest enemy. Listen to me, please. The biggest enemy of a human body is what? Hmm? You're there. Anybody else?
Inertia.
Biggest enemy of a human movement.
Inertia.
Hmm?
Inertia.
What is that?
Lack of movement.
Absolutely. Well, in a different manner, I wrote it. It's a stagnation. Biggest enemy of the human body, life, and movement is the stagnation. Biggest enemy in the sports is injury. I'll get into that when I get to my point. Biggest enemy of the injury is, anybody else?
Hurt.
Biggest enemy of the injury is,
It's hurt.
huh?
It's hurt.
It is given. Of course it's hurt.
That's it.
No, think about it. Biggest enemy of the injury is, I'm repeating again, re-injury. Somewhere I wrote it down. I get to that. What happens? Since we started the re-injury part, I don't know who made that. I read it in some health magazine. In this country alone, the ankle sprain happens, 25,000 ankle sprain happens from kindergarten to NFL. Right? So the re-injury, what do you think the percentage of the re-injury?
100%.
Huh?
100%.
100?
75?
75? 90?
We heard all the time.
500%.
900, it's
500% because of the structure itself, the lateral part of the, this is what ankle sprain happens all the time. You don't see much ankle sprain. You've done if you did ankle sprain inside.
Yeah.
So this is so vulnerable. So to me, once you re-injure, you're done. I don't think it's going to come back to, I may be wrong. We talked about this yesterday. It depends upon the condition, age, timing, person. All those comes because it becomes so intricate issue how to manage that. All right. So now the basic reasons for injury. Anybody? I'm not questioning you, I'm trying to pay attention. This is the important point, important subject. If you want this kind of work to practice for the future, like we talked about yesterday, you don't care, you want to go, spa, whatever type you want to do, you don't need to know all this. But if you're interested in your client maintaining their body longer period of time without a discomfort or injury, I said this yesterday. Every single time my client comes to me, I say this on their face. There's no doubt about it. I say this, you are with me to take care of this body as long as you can without injury and discomfort. Yesterday I mentioned that. It's not for sale either. You have to do it. That's why I'm advocating or educating everybody at the conference I have signed in my office. No stretching, no exercise, no massage for you. It doesn't do anything. But again, don't get me wrong, massage, I described in my one of the notes, massage is a mother. I'm a strong believer, strong receiver. The science is telling us. We talked about the massage therapy in the country-wise 20% increase a year. So in other words, my client have already warmed up for me. I don't have to spend much time warming up. In some of the, I don't want to get into that, but some of the spas, what I experienced, they call it hour, they give you 50 minutes. Right, massage envy? What is that? I'm paying an hour, why do you give me 50 minutes? It is my policy, forget that. I have a policy too. This is my policy. Right? Okay. Okay, let's go back. With basic responsibility, please, be alert. What is it? Jancy, what is the basic responsibility?
Well, of who?
I'm sorry. Basic reasons for injury.
Inadequate preparation for activity.
All right, good. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'll read it to you.
Non-proper stretching, non-proper warming
Yeah.
up, non-proper technique,
Great.
proper training, trying to do too much at one time.
Oh, you can. I'll read it to you. You can add to me anything else, right? Number one, I wrote it down. Overdoing it. I have this phobic next. I always go by numbers. It doesn't matter how orderly you put them. Overdoing it. So, overdoing it, I believe we don't do enough. There's no such thing overdoing it, except in high-level athletics. There's a high-level possibility that they overdo it. So when you overdo it, the recovery is not easy. You're taking more time. We all know that. I believe you have that sense it happened in your lifetime. But it is very exceptional that in our population that there is such a thing, basic reason for injury, overdoing it. We don't do enough, but it is a reason. Not enough stretching is a huge, I totally pinpoint that. Not enough stretching. Number three, no proper stretching. That's why I kept telling everybody yesterday, which unfortunately I didn't have the book yesterday. Master, 45, 50 years experience in the field. I admitted yesterday is probably 10, 20 times better than me. I also admitted yesterday, I'm not the best stretcher in the world, I'm not best trainer in the world, I'm not best therapist in the world. But the combination we all noticed yesterday. Right? We all witnessed what I did yesterday. So that's why we went back yesterday constantly with the conference. It doesn't matter what I say, what I give, what I do. It works. You witnessed that. Right? Okay. Now, not enough rest. You know, as a trainer, Sam and you both are your trainers. So too much rest. That's a good point too. I heard many times when a top athlete, world-class athlete, doesn't keep up their practice 48 hours, he cannot perform the same thing. For example, a gymnast scoring on the 10 on the vault, if you give them a 48 hours rest, you cannot do 10 score. Another good point. Too sudden, too quick. I think this is our problem. As a healthcare practitioner, we have a hard time to convince our athletes and clients. This including all of us. If you love to do something that it's very hard to get convinced. You want to continue. It doesn't matter. Another issue also we have in our society, perhaps in the human mind itself, it doesn't matter what is our age, our condition. If we go to any healthcare practitioner, we accept a quick fix. There is no such a thing, quick fix, according to me. It's a maintenance. Now, I went through that many, many times. I think yesterday I gave you an example. 14 years I've been working with the triathlete. I met her when she was 36, now she's 50. I have a hard time to convince her back off from the Ironman triathlon. We know all, as you trainers, you both know, Ironman distance are 2.4 mile swim, followed by 112 bike, and followed by 26.2 mile run. She did 9 of them. So finally she listened to me, finally after 9 years. Because the wear and tear would nobody pay attention. It's already it's happening. I think continuously happening. Whatever we do, we can't stop that. Otherwise, we live 1,000 years. All right, improper coaching, improper training, improper biomechanics. I'm not expert on that, but if somebody these days, high-level athletes have all those advantages and facilities that how well you train. Yesterday we talked about it. There's no such what's the word saying? Practice makes perfect. I said yesterday, perfect practice makes perfect. Right? All right. Last one, listening to the body. What do you think that is? In a technical term, proprioception. You heard that word many, many times. If we don't have that proprioception, I heard in the long term, the best proprioception athlete was Michael Jordan. It is true, because he's the one who lifted himself in the air, have the ball in one hand, defending 3, 4, 5 people, and switch the ball to the next hand and basket it. Incredible. That's the born gift. But it can be improved by our regular activity also. All right. Then another one. Micro trauma. So far with me? Everybody? Making sense to you what I'm saying?
That's good. Yeah.
So this is the core of how can you educate yourself, your client. Micro trauma. All right. Anybody can give me any description of what is micro trauma? Please.
Such trauma we don't know. And we've been hurting ourselves, we don't know.
No, I'm saying micro trauma. What is micro trauma?
Trip or fall?
Hmm?
Trip or fall?
No.
Micro trauma is, for example, weightlifters when they break down the muscle fibers to rebuild. That's micro trauma.
Right. But you're saying it in a little better way. Anybody can say better way, that's fine. But according to me, according to science, is micro trauma is constant repetitive motion.
Constant what?
Constant repetitive motion. Like example, jump or knee. So what happens for example, anybody track and field interest? Just me? Well, if you look at the triple jump, what they used to call half step and jump, when you take your body in the air before you land, look what happened. It has to be micro trauma. So in the soft tissue, where the tendon, ligament, and the cartilage in the joint itself is a given. How many thousands, perhaps millions of times they have to jump to perfect it to get that medal. So, how do we treat the micro trauma? Our question. That's why you stay on the top of the game. That's why earlier I was saying at the end of the day you stretch. In the beginning I gave you the big statement. Yesterday in the big statement, the first thing before I open my mouth I say, this works. Right? We have to do it. So you educate your clients and yourself that every time you had a physical activity, you come home and stretch. You can avoid the micro trauma, or you can maintain the micro trauma, I should say, rather than avoiding it. There's no such thing avoiding it. But again, goal is not to get there. Okay, next one. Scar tissue. This is a big thing. What is a scar tissue?
Tissue that hasn't healed properly.
Hmm?
Tissue that hasn't healed from an injury.
What else?
Adhesion. It's
Good, all of those correct.
it's when an injury has healed in such a way that the fibers lay in a random pattern as opposed to following the
Wonderful, excellent, excellent. So without a scar tissue, there is no such thing as injury recovery. My head, right here, with the scar tissue. So what is the disadvantage of that is, okay, these are the muscles, right? It's a strain. That is a strain, right? We didn't talk about those. That is the strain of the muscle. So my muscle fibers disruption, muscle fibers tear. It depends on how severity that is. So it has to align again to produce that 9.58 seconds in the 100 meters. Today's world record by Usain Bolt. I don't know who else did break that. I don't know when. Look at how much power or speed and that contraction and lengthening happening each step he takes. So powerful. So if you think there is a scar tissue, one of those muscles, look what happens. You won't be able to run 9.58. Yesterday we talked about that. Anything is nothing but a wave of movement. Didn't we talk about that yesterday?
You're not going to be able to move properly.
Right.
I know somebody that has scar tissue because of a mastectomy,
Right,
and the tissue just sticks to her ribs.
right.
And the only way to relieve some of that tension and increase her range of motion is to go in very deep.
So yesterday I mentioned wave of motion right here, right? Anything you start from one point to end another point without any interruption. And a deeper level. So scar tissue is always his enemy. That's why once you're injured, you cannot perform 100%. Again, there's exceptions. The children will recover faster, we don't recover faster. But how well we attend as soon as we can to get back to their normal potential. These days, everything stakes in millions of dollars. You know, Roger Federer income a year $64 million. LeBron James is 53 something. Look at how much money in jeopardy. The whole goal is the performance. Okay. All right. Touch. I cannot teach you that. We talked about that yesterday. I gave an example of it. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but you will be able to feel a small hair, piece of hair on the table, on the floor. That's what you have to develop, that kind of touch to find those where the problem is. That's what the massage part comes in. Even though yesterday I said to maintain this body properly, most naturally, three things: stretching, exercise, massage, right? So, for example, if somebody have a tennis elbow, you know how well we can get to it. What is the muscle causing the tennis elbow? What are the muscles surrounding it? So that's where the touch comes. Making any sense? If we don't have the, because it's all happening now. There's no such thing I can go to school tomorrow, take some kind of class and touch you back. He wants it now. Right? Alright. Alright, next one is, let's talk about wear and tear. This is another one. We talked about briefly already, but the wear and tear is given. It's constantly happening. Next one. Injury. We talked about this too, right? Oh, this is another one. Knee impact on running. We talked about that yesterday.
Not
So
really.
each time, I think you mentioned something.
Yeah.
Each time when you take that step like that, 8 times our body impacting on the knee. But these are all signs saying I cannot prove it to you, give it to you now.
Are you saying 8 times the body
8 times
weight?
the body weight. That's why I was advising yesterday. 30 years ago, there's only one marathon. Today, there are 8 to 10 marathons in the. Didn't I say that yesterday? Right. Because marathon running is becoming a social challenge rather than a physiological challenge. Michelle running, Raju wants to run.
Michelle hurt herself when she
Right.
ran
We
10K.
don't have the. It is becoming a business.
It was a social thing. You could do it, Michelle.
Yeah. Everybody. It's a social challenge as well as we have that human mentality. If somebody doing something, we follow them without looking at the physiological factors of it.
You have to learn.
That's what's happening.
They're keeping us busy.
Okay. Next one. Now, disadvantages of the injury. We talk about the injury, we talk about the basic responsibilities, we talk about the basic reasons for injury. What are the disadvantages of the injury?
It's no advantage there.
Well, for example, these type, I wrote a few things here. We can add if you like to. Frustration. Very psychological. Once you injure, your confidence level is cost. It goes as a cycle. The cost is a big one. Right? For example, you have 3 children, family, your boy injured. Look where you're going through. Take it to the chiropractor, take it to somebody else, take it. We listen to everybody because we want to get better. Oh, there's a corner in Rockville, there's a Raju, take him. I'm not a doctor. But if you do understand the soft tissue well, which I gave you many examples, which I give you a pack today, what I was able to do in my class. It's not written by me, written by the people. So the cost thing is continuous. Loss of time, these days especially, including my nephew. I was not that comfortable to ask him, but he's kind enough to come here this time. Because I don't want to interrupt his dad. Time is so valuable. But we're talking about injury. Look at what happens if you go into 10 places in the traffic and so on and so forth. Disappointment, another psychological issue. It becomes a weak link once you injure it that haunts you forever. Disturbance. You're 24 hours disturbed by that. Loss of confidence. I mentioned that in a different way. That is the biggest psychological thing, especially in the super athletes. Irritation. Irritation by soft tissue, what I mean. Right? We all know that. What is irritated by injury? Soft tissue, what are they? Everything is a soft tissue. Right? Including bone, ligament, tendon, muscle, cartilage. Then loss of focus on, you can't really focus what you're doing, what you're trying. Especially all these things I'm looking on in a high level sports athletes. But it doesn't mean that we can educate our normal population also. All right, key thing is now, it happened already. We talked about the effects and responsibilities and blah, 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 all of that. Now, how do we get to it? Injury repair process. What is the first thing we do? We all know. Trainer, Sam, give it to me. What would you do if something injury?
Rest.
What else?
Ice.
Ice, yes. What else? Good.
Rice.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we
that's something.
Ha ha.
Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
One good proper 100% answer. Thank you. Rice, right? Now there is no such thing rice anymore. Take that R out. Really? I mean it.
They
Yeah.
don't want you to
It
run.
is S2. There is no rice anymore. I'm sorry. No. There is no R anymore. There is no rest anymore. What is S2?
Stretch.
Stretch 10 times,
Okay, stretch one more. Stretch.
beginning and then end.
Stretch and hold on now. S2. Stretch and stabilize. Okay. Now, what are the most common injuries? You all know that. Sam and Raj.
Ankle sprain.
No. What are the common injuries?
They're common under the body.
Low back injuries?
The common injuries are sprain and strain. Sprain and strain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like body.
Common injuries.
Body.
Ankle sprain, we talked about that a few minutes ago.
That's the
Common. So you all know how to distinguish between sprain and strain, right? What is it? What is sprain?
One is tendon, one is ligament.
Okay, sprain happens. Don't doubt yourself.
It's-
It's simple thing. Sprain
It's
is
ligament,
right. Great. There you go. Have confidence. Strain. What is that?
tendon.
There we go. Right?
One takes longer than the other to heal.
Oh, good point. That's what they say. The ankle sprain is from mild, moderate, and severe.
Not as much blood flow through that.
Mild, moderate, and severe. Right? So as a therapist, we would not know doctors. We don't have a scientific background. That's what I said. Touch is important. How can you distinguish these three? Do we know? But yes, it is a common sense we know. If it is a severe, there is an operation. We can't deal with that as a therapist. Something broken. But still, according to me, even though in such conditions, you can work the rest of the body, which is seriousness can. I give you a great example in a few minutes what I'm talking about. I have done many cases in my career, but nobody listens to me anyway. because mind doesn't listen. In the severe cases, so as soon as whatever the doctors has to do, let them do it. Then if you do attend, that's one of my dream in my life, post and pre
Operational.
post and pre-operational therapeutic treatment.
You heal faster when you.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah,
But as a simple me, that's what my class is. How many can I influence you so that you can influence others? So as a group, before my graveyard, maybe there is a penetration in the medical system. This is my platform. Who am I? I'm not a doctor. What we're talking about, this is my experience. This is my platform. I would love to see who argue with this, which means all natural. Who argue with this exercise? Who argue with the stretching? Who argue with the massage? We all know by now how scientifically it is improving. What are the physiological benefits of that? Then why don't we do it? Okay, treatment. It's vast. I wrote a few, maybe there are a ton of others. Massage, ice massage. Anybody have done an ice massage in your career? Thank you. Great one.
Ice massage.
Yeah, if it is a mild, in this case, if you do attend right away, you can get back within days. I hope an American Massage Therapy Association or the local schools have this expertise to more detailed. That's what I was saying yesterday. Instead of going to 6 month school, if we go 3 years, then we'll be able to look into the deeper subject into it. Perhaps even a doctor, a good doctor can come educate your students.
That's PhD level work, though.
Not with 3 years. Yeah.
That's PhD level work.
That's why we're not able to compete with the other professionals.
A chiropractor or an MD, their schooling is 3 years.
That's
That's
anyway,
PhD.
my vision is to, if you want to be honest, good therapist, go to 3 years.
It's fantastic, but it's unrealistic with most people, isn't
Well,
it?
go to six weeks course, and you can touch it yesterday. Like I was
Yeah.
telling you, you can just touch it. That nothing going to recover from that, according to me.
Right, I agree.
But you have to get a deeper level of that. Deeper
Absolutely.
level happens if you have the education behind it.
Like in Canada, they're the
Right.
Canadian programs.
Right.
Much more intense.
Okay. So the treatment, massage, ice massage, stretching, physiotherapy, chiropractic, acupuncture, acupressure, kinesiotaping, which is huge now, and much more. Whatever you want. But our goal is treat that right away, so that the athlete can get back to whatever he is doing, because his life depends on that much. Point is money. Okay, so far so clear? Okay, now, a while ago I said that I give you an example of it. Yes, I had this with me, but somebody advised me get a permission from this little girl. This is not the one girl I gave you, this is another girl. Her name is Anya. This is a true story MRI. So, the girl have a medial malleolus. The word is here. Excuse me. Yesterday I called them, they gave me the permission to use this. That's why I did not mention yesterday. Yes, I don't know even how to pronounce this. How do you say that? Apophysitis? 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 I never heard before. But one of the little friend working for me, he looked really clear in the dictionary, wrote it for me also. I bought it that too.
What is it?
It is a repetitive microtrauma. Look at that. I was stunned when I read that. It's right here, not by me. It's saying right here. Well, this condition is defined by inflammation of an apophysis, a natural protuberance from a bone. The inflammation characteristic of the condition believed to be caused by, there you go, repetitive microtrauma. I was stunned by that. Now, so the physician, his trainer, told the girl no gymnastics. So their competition, they already won 3 regionals. Their competition coming 26th, 27th in FedEx Field in Landover for the end of the regional championships. Girl is very anxious to get back to it, which is she's only 9. She also have a bone fragmentation. You know all of that? What is that? It says right here. X-rays to 3 V's of the both ankles show that there is some bony fragmentation, which is a tiny piece of the bone in the ankle. But the good story, honest story is, when she came to me, when I worked this area, when I touched it, very painful, just a touch. And I worked the lower leg muscles. That's what I talked about earlier, touch. I cannot give you this. She sees me every other week. The pain from her, or what, I don't know, maybe 8, she said 8 from 8 level 1 to 10 scale, I was able to bring it to 2. She went home, very innocent girl, went home, asked her mother, my foot is feeling better. Can I go to see Raju next week? Which is Monday, every other Monday, tomorrow Monday. Unfortunately, I shouldn't bring my personal story, but I have a divorce date tomorrow. It got to my heart. I got really emotional. I can't see the girl. But anyway, that's why I brought this with me. The touch is so crucial. How well you learn that, to how to attain that, treat that. Okay.
So, was it inflamed?
Yes, a tiny bit. It was before. It has a cast, or how we call a boot, whatever that is.
So you don't push on the inflammation.
Oh, no.
So you work around the area.
Yes,
to
work
help
around
support
it. That we talked about that a minute ago. So there is no such a thing, to me, contraindications of a massage, unless there is a pregnancy thing, first trimester, whatever that is.
Achieve, and then you can.
But even though I believe you can do something.
Yes.
But the only thing, if something breaks, you're not going to push it, move it, or hurt it. You know, I'm not expert of everything, but there may be something else. According to me, there's no such thing, contraindication in this work. You have to develop your mind. You can work on a born baby to a dying man. There's no such thing, contraindication in this work.
You just have to be aware of all these things that you mentioned. When you do an oncology massage or cancer massage, you have to be aware of all these things. If you're not educated, and not everybody is,
Well,
you can harm someone.
what we are. I may have these visions and goals and everything. One day may happen, one day may not happen. I think collectiveness, confidence wins. Doesn't it? In the human history? If you are one, it will happen. So, yesterday clear now, we talked about all those sections of how to deal with this injury. So, one more thing before on the MRI, we did it now, re-injury. It's the worst enemy Once you re-injured, you're done, according to me. It won't come back to the 100%. I may be wrong. Again, I'm talking about the international level athletes where they perform consistently. That kind of. Look at the pole vault today, about 20 feet. Can somebody repeat that with a re-injury? I don't think so.
Why not? Why not?
Because of the soft tissue damage.
You can't repeat the healing process again?
There are the exceptions. It's not 100% what I'm saying. It is possible. But how timely you attend that to make it to that quality come back and perform again.
The quality of
Quality of the soft
it,
tissue.
right. The
Because
quality of repair.
we all know ligament function what? Ligament function is limited. It does, that's it. From here, it go back. If it wants it go back, what is that? Sprain. So everyday micro trauma happening in the body. Look at what happening to that ligament. So best thing not to get into. All right, movement. I talked about all this movement. What I mean by movement, that's why I brought this little thing here. Is in the later on you can read. She's 94. She started working out when she's 77. She broke 6 world records in track and field. I also got this Washington Post. So the reason I bought it, make it a short story. At the end of this it says, number 1 rule is keep moving. You can read it later. That's why I wrote the movement here. Movement relies, depends. We're talking about injury. So recovery, performance, rehabilitation, injury repair, however you look at it, all depends on movement. That's what this class is. All movement. Stretching is a movement, isn't it? Massage is a movement. Exercise is a movement. Long time ago, one of my sports massage guru, there's no sports massage, athletes needs guru, and told me massage mantra is move the tissue, move the tissue, move the tissue. Raju's mantra is move, move, move. No more excuses, yet moving. If you want this is get better. Okay? All right. Anything else? Contribution? I would like to get to the aerobic, anaerobic, all that, but you by nephew release. That's the core of the program, core of the injury lecture. But there are some other things I touch base as we go along. Thank you all of you. Thank you, my buddies. So use it, call me, ask me, I give you my information, whatever I can help by on the phone with you, more than happy to. But develop the confidence end of the day and continue practice. I see in your faces. The last one, Pittsburgh class, this is the class. These two, I have that gut feeling that you're all getting something out of me. But use it. If you don't, I already said to you, I don't know how many of you paying attention, that I recommend you also come and see me in person. A session that will even give you more confidence. Again, it's up to you how higher level you want to practice. How we talked about yesterday. It's nothing but what Raju said, what gave you. I repeatedly say this. Results. So I won't say this and I won't repeat it if we did not have the result. This is nothing but zero, garbage. That's what I want you to look at. Every time you touch a human body, are you improving? Are you contributing? Are you educating? Okay. Thank you all of you. You want to take a 5-minute break? Go ahead.
Yes.
Thanks for your quietness and listening.
Very good, Raju.
Again, I'm not bragging myself. How many CEU class you took? You have this kind of information. Anybody raise your hand?